if needed, or
Sige.
I'll tell my assistant that we can dive deep na lang privately. But
Sure.
go ahead
Sure.
and shoot
Sure.
through the
Mm.
SDGs.
Yes. Next, please. Zero hunger. Okay. So that's SDG 2 on zero hunger. Oh, wala. Anyway, can you go back? Sige, diretso na lang. Diretso na lang. So zero hunger, you can see here that these are really where we are falling behind. And like for instance, the 2.1.1, this is the proportion of households meeting the 100% recommended energy intake. It went down to 19.5, that is in 2019. And this was actually pre-pandemic. The target, of course, is to bring it up to mga ano man lang, mga 35%. Yeah. If you will remember the incidence natin kanina, which is 2.3, if using the lowest poverty line ng World Bank, yung $2.15, that's actually equivalent to our subsistence incidence. So it's only that low. Nasa 2.3 lang siya. And yet, ganito pala karami yung households not meeting their energy intake. So meaning, even if they have the money to buy, dapat kasi nasa mga 2% lang dapat ito. But there's a lot of them. And therefore, there's a lot to be, we need better information, education on proper nutrition, the proper diet. Tapos ganun din sa, in terms of the food insecurity, the good news is that it has gone down since 2022, nasa 31.4%. And we think that yung 2030 target natin will be met. And then, ito siguro yung mas importanteng the next slide. And this is really the prevalence of malnutrition. Next slide, please. Ayaw mag-next. Sa next slide, well, this one, yung next slide yan, shows the prevalence of stunting, wasting, and the overweight. So yung thankfully, yung prevalence natin ng stunting, it has gone down from 33.4 noong 2015, has gone down to 23.6 in 2023. But take note that this is actually medyo regressing din to kasi we have already brought it down to a 23.3 noong 2022. Pagdating ng 2023, tumaas pa siya ng konti. And therefore, if this trajectory is maintained, then we will likely miss our 2030 budget. Tapos, if you're also looking at the wasting, medyo we're on track, pero yun nga, we're looking at 3.9% pa rin na incidence of wasting. Tapos, yung overweight natin is, well, it's at 3.7 now. And of course, we want to bring that down as well. Yeah. Tapos, sa micronutrients, next please. Dito rin tayo kulang. So, with respect to vitamin A,
it's not going to details na lang. Anyway, I have the slides, no?
Sige.
I'm looking at them as you speak, and then I will just ask you questions. I-highlight mo na lang yung talagang sobrang importante.
Yung siguro yung susunod pa, yung breastfeeding. Kasi this is also supposedly madali lang dapat gawin, inclusive breastfeeding, and we know that this is also related to incidence of stunting, cognitive development, yun. So nasa 60% pala ang siya as of 2021. Yeah, so more education din yan. On health, next please. Now this one medyo malabo siya, but you would notice that those regressing indicators, yung naka-red na yon, except for neonatal mortality, yung iba really has to do with communicable and non-communicable diseases. So this is actually an accumulation of bad lifestyle choices, unhealthy lifestyle talaga to. Another thing na naka-red, which is actually also related to yung next topic natin, is the incidence of road traffic accidents. So, this is a regressing indicator. So, importante rin talaga yung yung safe pathways natin and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. And then of course also have there the health impact of pollution. Yun yung mga regressing indicators natin with respect to health. Siguro dun sa na tayo, what we are doing right with respect to health. Next. 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 Yan, okay. So, in terms of the low-hanging fruits on health, so it's really the implementation. We need to close the implementation gaps to ensure consistent delivery of universal healthcare reforms. Siguro at another time we can present to you. We have done some evaluation studies ng universal healthcare, certain aspects of the UHC programs, components. So we can also share that to the committee. And then yung collaboration across national, local, and sectoral stakeholders. Prioritize primary healthcare. Matagal na rin medyo yung consulta package, and there's not that many takers. And this is supposed to be our move to prioritize primary healthcare, also to instill that good health-seeking behavior. So our biggest challenge is still that primary healthcare limits the effective delivery of UHC services. And then you have health systems, they remain vulnerable. We are moving towards dapat digitalization of the healthcare system. But again, across the country, marami kaming nakita na sobrang gaps in the capacity, the competence of many of these LGUs to have an electronic medical record, for instance, yung EMR, which is also a big component of this primary care, the universal healthcare mismo, kasi dapat yan network eh. So, nagkonsulta ka sa primary care, it goes to a referral system, etc., etc., and that goes through, dapat merong may electronic medical recording system. Yan. Tapos, on quality education, next, please. This one, we are regressing with respect to the indicator on early childhood development. So the indicator here is yung organized learning before primary entry age. So this is actually even before the K. So mababa ang natin yan. And this is also very important kasi yung
That which one? The one you're
the red one. Ay, yes.
child development?
Yes, target 4.2.
Okay.
Yeah, yan yung regressing natin.
Before primary entry. Okay, so this is really learning in the homes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was actually also asked about that kasi ang dami nating class suspensions, no? Daming class suspensions. And sabi nila, what can we do? Kasi yun nga, no, it's also impacting our children. So because sana if we can bring back all those educational TV shows for kids, kasi wala na sila eh. Yung mga dati na may Sesame Street tayo, may Blue's Clues, kaya no, they're not there anymore. Mga Batibot, mga
I'll
wala
check because
sila.
I used to handle the budget of the attached agencies of DepEd, and they're reporting to us that meron pa rin. So
Wala
check.
ng mga
Okay. Anyway,
knowledge
let's move on.
yan.
But
Yeah.
I'm very concerned about that one. Okay, yeah, exactly.
Yes, so we need an out of the box solution na para sa mga kasi we will always have this mga class suspensions, either ulan, baha at init now. And then qualified teachers. Now, this is also where we are regressing, Madam Chair. Yung sa pinakadulo, if you know that, that's actually the TVET trainers. I think we are losing many of our TVET trainers. Baka marami sa kanila ay pumupunta na sa overseas. Yan. And then, oops, where am I? Yan. Yes. And next, please. Next, I think on, sige pa. nagkagulo-gulo na yung aking slide. So, Madam, sorry. Ah, doon na tayo sa, ano, sige, next. Yan. On gender, gender equality. So, doon sa target 5.2, which is the violence against women and girls, we are actually on track. And when we looked into this deeper, it's really the enhanced enforcement mechanisms that actually led to an improvement of that indicator. So, tapos, with respect to early marriage, although may progress tayo, it still needs acceleration. Then, with respect to women in leadership, particularly those in managerial positions, so that is actually where we are also lagging behind. So we need many more, women to go into higher education and even, pursue mga other courses, master's degree, so that we will meet that. Next, what we are doing right. Next slide. There. What we are doing right is, as I mentioned, the targeted anti-VAUSI projects, ongoing efforts to amend the anti-VAUSI law to address emerging issues such as cyber violence. I think ito yung missing right now in the anti-VAUSI. And then the continuous capacity building for law enforcement. So ang ating low-hanging fruits, next please, is to finalize and implement key policies and plans to end child, early, and forced marriage and unions. And then integrate existing programs, for instance, yung pagkalinga and then the Protect Teen. And this is really to address not just teen, kundi early, adolescent pregnancy and even child pregnancy. And then expand the comprehensive reproductive health education. The biggest challenge, next please, is the low participation of women in the electoral system and even actually in the labor force. And this is something that is also being addressed in the Trabaho para sa Bayan plan. And you'll also be happy to note that by first quarter of next year, we will hopefully finish yung trabaho para kay Juana Trabaho. So it's really to increase the labor force participation of women. So mas focus na TPB plan for women. And then there's also the persistent gender stereotypes and cultural norms. And then yung various forms of violence and harassment against women in politics. Tapos, siguro okay. Ang gusto ko na ring ipakita, Madam Chair, is the yung 2026 PCB SDG budget requirement. Next, please. Next slide. Next. Oops. Yeah. Actually, dahil very all-encompassing ang SDGs. Sa totoo lang, there are really so many already public investments for the SDGs. But what we do for the SDG fund na tinatawag namin is we actually look at indicators that are lagging behind, and then the sectors or the areas that are the farthest behind with respect to this indicator. Tapos, yun, that's actually how we identify those projects or those PAPs that will be included in this program convergence budget requirement for that will be pegged against the SDG fund. So for this year, this is 2026. We're looking at the proposals. We have 42 that have been endorsed to the DBM. 42 PAPs to, amounting to mga 5.3 billion. Tapos, but this one is still maliit pa rin siya, nasa 3.69. Sorry. Yung nakasama sa NEP is 917 million. So, marami pa rin ang hindi nakasama. That's 3.69% of the total. So, what we also do, Madam Chair, is dun nga sa mga lagging behind indicators na yan, We actually have tawag namin ay flagship